Whenever a new year kicks off, there's this feeling in the air for a lot of us EU professionals, right? A kind of uncertainty. You've got new leadership, maybe some signals about new directions, and it leaves a lot of us wondering, okay, how are we supposed to navigate the waters ahead? And boom, the questions start rolling in. You hear them in the hallway, you see them in emails, maybe you're even asking them yourself. Is the whole process about to shift right under our feet?
And then there's this one, which gets to the heart of it. It's really a question about value, isn't it? Is the work we do, are the claims we evaluate suddenly going to be seen through a totally different lens? And look, that anxiety is completely understandable.
And it all really boils down to this, the million-dollar question. Do we, the people actually doing the work, need to change our entire approach? It's the number one concern anytime things feel like they're in transition.
Okay, let's just pause here for a second and ground ourselves. It's funny, as we start the year, we often think about the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., and he reminded us that this journey toward fairness, it's never just been about big ideas or a grand vision. It has always required a solid, dependable structure to stand on. And that right there, that's the key message for us today. Yeah, the winds of change might be blowing, priorities might seem like they're shifting, and there might be a storm of uncertainty. But the foundation of our work, it isn't just stable, it's unshakable. That foundation, well, that's our anchor. So let's dive in and talk about what exactly that anchor is made of. What are the constants we can grab onto no matter who's at the helm? I mean, just look at this. These aren't just guidelines. This is the absolute bedrock of what we do. Federal laws, like Title VII, they're not suggestions. An employee's right to raise a concern, that's protected. The employer's duty to investigate and deal with discrimination, that's still there. And for investigators, that mandate for a completely impartial, evidence-based inquiry, it doesn't change one single bit. And this brings us to probably the most critical distinction we have to make if we want to navigate this time successfully. It's all about understanding the difference between priorities, which can change, and the law, which is stable. So you're going to hear a lot about new executive orders or shifting focus at different agencies. And yeah, those are important signals. They can absolutely influence where an organization decides to put its time, its money, its attention. But, and this is a huge but, they do not and they cannot just erase the law itself. They don't get to override those statutory obligations we just talked about. And this chart just lays it out so perfectly. Look at this breakdown. Priorities, they just guide attention. But the law, it governs the actual outcomes. Priorities can be influenced by things like executive orders, and they can absolutely evolve. But the law is rooted in statute, and it stays stable. Think of it like this. Priorities are the spotlight, but the law is the entire stage. The spotlight can move around, but the stage itself isn't going anywhere. So here's the bottom line. The truly crucial point is this. A fair process, one that's based on evidence, should lead to the exact same outcome no matter who's in charge or what the buzzwords of the day are. Our commitment is to the law, not to shifting priorities.
Okay, so how does this all translate to you personally? If that foundation is stable, then it becomes our job to be the anchor for our organizations, for everyone who's part of the EEO process.
So for all the investigators out there, this just means we have to double down on our professional discipline. It means we apply those established legal frameworks to every single case, every single time, consistently. It's about careful, meticulous work, evaluating evidence and credibility, not making assumptions based on all the noise outside. And this is so important, resisting that temptation to treat one case as some kind of signal for a new political reality. Every case has to stand on its own facts and its own evidence, period.
I just love this point because it completely reframes what being neutral really means. Being neutral isn't about checking out or not caring about the outcome. It's an active, professional commitment to the process. It's the discipline it takes to make sure every single person gets a fair shake, especially when all the external signals are confusing. And for the organization as a whole, this is what a responsible reset actually looks like. It's not about some flashy new initiative. It's about getting back to the absolute fundamentals, making sure policies are clear, that decisions are uniform, that leaders know how to document things, and that the complaint process is open and accessible to everyone. Equity that's grounded in the law, that's not just a nice idea, it's a duty.
So as we look ahead, even if the priorities are still taking shape, we can set one intention for ourselves that is crystal clear. This is it. This is our professional mantra for the year, to stay anchored in the law that doesn't change, to be disciplined in the process that guarantees fairness, and to be neutral in how we evaluate things, providing that steady hand no matter what kind of storm might be brewing outside.
So that leaves us with just one final thought to take with us. In a sea of uncertainty, people are always looking for an anchor. So the question is, how will you be that source of stability, fairness, and discipline in your organization?